Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how to download the content from LexisNexis that we'll be using in this particular exercise. This is the opening screen for LexisNexis, the one you can get to from the Walker Library website. And the first thing you want to do is click on this link, this advanced search link, to get this menu. This allows us to be a little more specific about what we're going to look for. And let's start by typing in the search terms for this particular search. We want to retrieve stories that use any form of the word gay. So we'll type the word gay and then an exclamation point. That's like a wild card. Or any form of the word homosexual or homosexuality. Here we are. We can get as far as homosexual and then another wild card. So we've told LexisNexis to pick out any stories that mention those two words. Now we want stories that mention those two words in connection with the military, because we're studying coverage of the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy here. So it makes sense that if these two words are close to a word like military, that's probably what the story is about. So we'll use this notation, W for within /10. That means within 10 words of whatever comes next. In this case, let's use the word military. Okay, so just to quickly recap, this search is going to capture stories that have any form of the word gay or homosexual within 10 words of the word military. So that's a pretty good net to cast, I think, for looking at what we want to capture. Now we want to narrow the sources that LexisNexis is going to search in order to retrieve these data. So let's go to Browse Sources right here. And the first we want to search is transcripts for Fox News. So to get those up, let's go to News right here. And then also to News Transcripts here. And finally, scrolling down, you will eventually find Fox Network News right there. And then over here we have an OK Continue button. Click that. And let's see, the last thing we want to do is specify some dates for this search. We want to narrow this to the time during which the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy was being debated and ultimately repealed. So I've found the Specify Dates drop-down box here. And I'm going to go down to Date is Between, which was going to allow us to specify two dates. Now the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell was initiated in some legislation that the President signed in December of 2010. So I'm going to up the month here to December, and then back the year up to 2010. I'm just clicking the little arrows on either side of those two items. And since it was actually the end of December when the legislation was signed, but let's assume there was some run up to that. So I'm going to go with the 1st of December. In 2010, and then the repeal actually happened in September of 2011. So let's do the same thing. Let's set the year 2011. The month is already September. Let's set it to how about the end of September, 30th. All right, and let's see. I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and click search. And Lexis is going to chew on that for a minute or two, and it looks like it found 45 stories. Now all we need to do now is download these so we can analyze them. Up here in the upper right, you'll find an icon that looks like an old-fashioned computer floppy disk. Just click on that, and you get this download window. You can take all the defaults here and just click download. And depending on when you're accessing the system and how busy it is, it will grab all of these stories and put them in a file that's ready for you to download. And there it is right there. If you right-click on it and choose, at least in my web browser, Save Link As. Sometimes if you're using Internet Explorer, it might be Save Target As or something like that. But it'll capture the document behind that link. Let me put it somewhere where I can find it easily. Let's go with, let's see, let me put it on my desktop here and click Save. Okay, and there's Fox News. Okay, so we have that. Now we want to, for purposes of our analysis, we want to get the same results from a different source, in this case the New York Times. So that's pretty easy to do. Just click Edit Search right up here and leave all of this the same, but change the source. We can remove Fox News Network and then browse again, this time looking for the New York Times. Having used this database a few times, I can tell you that we're going to find the New York Times here in the News folder. And then in the, let's see, Newspapers link right here. And then there's a list here of outlets beginning with A. We need to kind of skip to the ends for New York Times, so I can click Go to Page starting with Source, and then in the drop-down box find the one closest to New York Times, which would be New York Sun right here. Okay, so now we have the ends, and where is New York Times? There's a whole bunch of subunits of the New York Times, but here is the general New York Times content right here. Just click the box and then click OK, continue. Alright, and search. So now it's searching that New York Times content using the same dates and the same search criteria. There are results, 163 articles. To download these, just again click the little disk icon and take the defaults and click download. And after a little chewing, a little more chewing because we have more articles to retrieve in this case than we did with the Fox News content, we have the file ready to download. So again, right click, save link as, and putting it on the desktop. Good. Yeah, save. Okay, so that's kind of it. That's how quickly you can download your content for analysis using LexisNexis Academic.